All right, hi, and welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondran here. We are doing a scary October Unclean Hands, Affirmative Defense. Okay, so you may find yourself in a court of law in a case either as a plaintiff or as a defendant, and you may say, you know what, Your Honor, that person has unclean hands. And the judge may look at you like, huh? You know, did they not take a shower today or something? But unclean hands is a equitable defense. It's an affirmative defense. And let's talk about it real quick. So usually a plaintiff is going to file suit for somebody, for themselves. Let's say they file a suit and say, you know, my neighbor's throwing leaves all over my house, and I need all his trash picked up off my house. And the plaintiff would seek an injunction. The defendant might come in and the defendant might raise the defense of unclean hands, saying, Judge, they don't deserve any sort of injunction to help me pick up my trash or keep my trash on the side. You should see what they do, Your Honor. Talk about some pigs here. So they can't come into court with dirty hands, as they say, and they must come into court. A party who seeks equity must come to the court with clean hands, and they're not doing it here. So we want you to deny the relief. So that's essentially what we're talking about with the unclean hands. Now, I have pled it many times in many cases. It has never come down and be the big winner that I was hoping it would be. It is kind of fun to tell the judge, their hands are dirty, Your Honor. They just got dirty hands. And sometimes you'll even get a little laugh out of the gallery there in the back. But this is a little illustration I did of it. You can see those hands. Something looks wrong. Maybe there's some shoddy conduct, some bad faith conduct. Maybe there's some fraud by the plaintiff. So, these are things where you're looking to point out maybe some of the fraudulent things that the plaintiff did, and the defendant can try to raise what we call these equitable remedies. Now, they're not per se 100% an affirmative defense. They are a defense that could be raised, by a plaintiff. So if a plaintiff is suing someone and they're countersued, a plaintiff may be asserting these defenses against the other party. But oftentimes you're going to find these pop up where there's equitable remedies at stake, where there's an injunction order, like a trademark case with an injunction order. There was one case, I think it was one of the wine brands, and they got a little tired of one of their competitors, Gallo Wines, and I think it was Kendall Jackson, actually. So I think it was Kendall Jackson sued the other wine company for trying to imitate their bottles. So the plaintiff was Kendall Jackson. They sued. They lost. One of the reasons being it sounded like Kendall Jackson had recruited some of their employees, and that wasn't too pretty, so to speak. So after that case was over, I think it was won by Gallo. After that case was over, Gallo decides to file a malicious prosecution claim against Kendall to try to get some more money and everything. And I think in that case, Kendall Jackson successfully raised the unclean hands, talking about some of the things, some of the not so neat things, the bad facts, bad conduct, things that were being done by Gallo. There was a summary judgment for Gallo, and then Kendall won on summary judgment on appeal. So it's this crazy story, but look up the Kendall Jackson case if you're looking for one that actually won. But essentially, again, it's a party who seeks equity must come to the court with clean hands. It's usually seen as an equitable defense, affirmative defense. You raise it, you prove it. And again, this says to basically promote judicial integrity. We don't want a court benefiting a plaintiff, making everything great for a plaintiff when a defendant or a plaintiff, let's say, had unclean hands and was doing things wrong. So bad behavior. So that's about all I'm going to say about this. You know more now about the unclean hand doctrine. Go ahead if you see the facts, you got the facts, you want to raise that in your defense. See if you can get the judge to buy in. Or like I said, sometimes it's just fun to say, Your Honor, they have dirty hands. They're coming to the court with dirty hands. And everybody around the court looks around and starts checking out their fingernails. So at any rate, I got to run. I hope you liked this podcast. If you did, give me a like. Feel free to share this on your social media networks, and we will chat with you again. Have a great day now.